Alrighty, we are keeping it on target with today's Answering the Call. We're always on your side doing that, and today we're talking about one thing that is very passionate for a lot of people, hunting season here in Louisiana. We are joined by biologist Jeffrey Johnson with the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. Jeffrey, thanks a lot for being here with us today.
Yes, sir. Good to be with you.
Man, we always love to talk about hunting season too, so let's just kind of get the nuts and bolts. What hunting seasons are going on right now?
So currently squirrel and rabbit season are open. Archery season is open for deer. We'll have primitive rifle season will open for deer this coming weekend. Well, actually, youth season's open during the week this week on private lands, youth and honorably discharged veterans. Primitive firearm season opens on Saturday on Run for a week, and then the following week after that, modern firearms will open.
Okay, fantastic. So that brings me to my next question. Obviously, you hear a lot about people needing to get a license for that. Break down who would need a license, who wouldn't. Does everybody? I've heard this thing about if it's on personal property, you don't need a license. Break that down for us.
Well, everybody below a certain age. There's some older folks, and I forget the date off the top of my head, but there's a date that if they were born before this date, they wouldn't. But the majority of people currently hunting would need a license. 60 and over would get a senior hunt and fish combo license. Everybody else would get just their basic season license and then whatever add-on license for what they were wanting to do. So they'd get like their basic license and then their deer, their basic and waterfowl, so on like that. And even youths need a license now. They get a youth license, it's $5 and deer tags come with it. So everybody does. If somebody has a lifetime hunting or fishing license or a combo license, lifetime license, then they're covered for all those things.
That's the way to go. And a great gift, if I may say so.
It is. It's good for kids, especially good for kids.
One thing I want to ask you, Jeffrey, a lot of times new hunters may say that what an inconvenience it is to have to go through the hoops, but it actually serves a very important purpose. Especially from your perspective too and what you do as far as tracking how many animals are harvested. Talk about that.
So yeah, the first thing licenses do is a good funding source for us. We're, for the most part, a self-funded agency. Mm-hmm. We work off of self-generated funds. Also, for all the licenses we have, that's one of the things that factor into how much federal aid we get. So, so I know this wasn't what you were asking necessarily, but Pittman-Robertson is a tax that was an excise tax placed on sporting goods, firearms, ammunition, long time ago, pre-1950. And the manufacturers voluntarily, well, not voluntarily, but they're happy to do this usually because it funds people that are taking part in activities that use their products. So that goes to U.S. Fish and Wildlife, and then through U.S. Fish and Wildlife, it's distributed to state agencies to use for conservation funding with state government money matched. So our self-generated funds plus Pittman-Robertson, and we can do a lot more. Anyway, hunter numbers plays into that calculation.
Yeah.
So that's one big aspect of it is the hunters are helping fund conservation.
Yeah.
The other thing is, yes, it helps us track game, especially like with deer. You get your deer tags for this season. You can get a license that may carry over into the next season because it's good for one calendar year, but you get your tags, you validate them when you harvest a deer, and it gives us a number of deer harvested.
It keeps people safe. It lets you know exactly how many animals are still out in the wild, how many have been harvested. So good stuff. And real fast, where can people go and get some more information on what you do and some of the conservation efforts there?
You go to our website. You could also call our office, and I'd be happy to talk to anyone. Our numbers, our main office number is 318-371-3050. I love talking to people.
Yeah, and they might see you out in the woods.
Yeah, and
checking it out.
Season dates, get the hunting regulations.
Fantastic.
And look through them.
All right. Well, Jeffrey, thanks a lot, buddy.
Yes,
Great
sir.
information we need to know about hunting season so that you can bag that next big buck. A couple more weeks, though. Well, if you have a question for our Answering the Call segment, make sure you send it on in to pressreleases@ktbs.com. Include a portion of your question in the subject headline, and we will get some answers for you. Thank you again, sir. All right, coming up next, we hope you're hungry. It is Tasty Tuesday. We're going to find out what Rick is diving into next.